Near mint condition, the home of collected editions.
That cover's so awesome.
Absolute format is the best way to own this store. Time to empty those wallets and fill those shelves. How's it going, all you minties? Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. And join me today for my overview of Jeff Lemire's and Dustin Nguyen's latest masterpiece. This is Little Monsters Deluxe Edition from Image Comics. So let's go ahead and get started. What we're looking at here is the latest deluxe edition from Image Comics. This is Little Monsters by Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen. And we have this creepy imagery right here. And these are the main colors that we're going to be seeing on the inside of the book here. Let's look at the spine. You have the Image logo, Little Monsters, Jeff Lemire, Dustin Nguyen. And then the back of the book, giving praise to the story, ISBN down here. And $39.99, and it is rated mature, mainly due to the violence and, of course, some of the language in here. But lots of creepy imagery. So, just to kind of give you an idea how big this book is, next to the Gideon Falls oversized hardcover here, the deluxe edition as well, in case you're collecting all the horror books from Image Comics, kind of give you an idea of what the spines will look like together. Here we have it next to the Descender Deluxe Edition from Image Comics as well, and that also has the flat spine, and this is kind of what they will look like together if you're just getting Jeff Lemire books, that is. But in case you don't have the Deluxe Edition or any Deluxe Editions from Image Comics, here it is compared to the size of a Marvel Omnibus, which is, of course, the size and dimensions of a DC Omni, because Omnis tend to be the same. So it is just as long and as tall. Of course, Marvel has the round spine, but to kind of give you an idea just how big deluxe editions are, most of the time, right? Because every publisher publishes books a little bit different, but this deluxe edition is as big as Omni. Now, we are going to go ahead and crack the book open and look at the artwork and give you the pitch of the stories found in here. Look at the extras and then, of course, the build of the book. Let's go ahead and open this up. There's your red end sheets. And Little Monsters, written by Jeff Lemire, Dustin Nguyen doing the art in here and the cover, and by art I mean everything in here. Steve Wan's doing the lettering and the design, and then the editor is Greg Luckard. And then special thanks to Kayleen Nguyen and Shirley Wu, background assistant. And then the collection designs is Rich Folks and Steve Wan's. Now I believe this is Dustin's daughter that does the background art, and I'll show what that is here in a little bit. Okay, so this story, if you don't want to know anything about this, I'm just going to show you. It's all in black and white with some exceptions. There are some red colors through here. And then in the background, you'll start seeing a couple of other different colors. But this is mainly what the art looks like. So it may or may not be for you. But if you love Jeff Lemire and you love Dustin Nguyen and what they did in Descender and Ascender and Robin and Batman, you can go into this completely blind. It's completely worth reading. All right, so minor spoilers because I'm going to give you the pitch. But some people don't even need that when it comes to Jeff Lemire. They just buy everything Jeff Lemire. This is set in a post-apocalyptic future, and we're introduced to some kids. You have Rami here, you have Yui, you have Lucas, and you get the sense that the world has fallen apart around them. And the more you read, the more you find out that these kids, they're playing games all day long. This is the twins, Ronnie and Raymond, right here. And there's Billy and Bats and Vicky. Billy and Bats, saying that name, kids. Wonder if I have to take on Billy Batson. Probably. Huh. Right? Sorry, I just realized that because I was reading this late last night. But you realize that these kids are playing games in this post-apocalyptic world. They're not really afraid of what's out there. But you find out that they've been together for a long time. And they keep talking about this elder that is coming back, that they should stay together. And the main character here that you meet in the very first page, Rami, he's mute. He doesn't talk, so he speaks through writing things down. And the more you read this, he's exploring, right? Lucas is playing the guitar. Yui seems to be infatuated with him. The moon has a little bit of a different tint. It's blood red. So they're eating rats. Like, that's what they live on. And the red that you will see most of the time happens to be blood. I said there was a mature rating, and that's what this mainly has, is the blood, because there is some violence in here. Collecting Little Monsters, issues 1 through 13. I forgot to mention that earlier. So what happens here is that Rami ends up hearing something when he's exploring. Like, he's getting things, and he's an artist. And I believe this is what Dustin Nguyen's daughter probably did, like the background art like that. That's really cool. But everything else, again, has this black and white and gray tones to it. And the kids are going to bed, and they keep talking about the elder, and then you find out that they've been alone. The elder left them about 100 or so years ago after the world ended, and the elder gave them some rules. So the kids go to bed. You have Yui sleeping by herself, Ronnie, Raymond, Lucas, Vicky, and Bats. You start questioning, how long have these kids been alive? Because they're talking about hundreds of years, and some of them are being a little daredevilish. Well, what ends up happening is Billy goes looking for Rami and runs into an older man. And then his fangs pop out. So now you get the idea of what's happening here. A little bit of a flashback. Each issue after issue number 1, so 2 through 13, has a flashback. This is 1763, which introduces us to Rami and how Rami became the very first of the little monsters, with this creature that only comes at night approaching Rami after eating on, could be somebody that was taking care of Rami, or could be somebody that is related to him, his grandfather, his father, doesn't matter. He fed on him, and now this creature or man is promising Rami that they don't have to be alone anymore. They don't ever have to be alone. And then we fast forward to the present day with a little bit of a flashback before Billy ran into this older man. So at first you're like, oh, is it the elder? So Rami gets scared of this human, is this older gentleman here. The gentleman falls, and that's where we run into Billy seeing him. We catch up. And Billy had fangs, and the guy's like, hey, I need some help. Can you get some help? We've got more people in my village. We're 50 minutes from here. And Billy drinks the blood. Now you find out that these kids were raised by the elder, and the elder gave them some rules. Never venture out of the city. He will be back one day, and never feed on human. Those are the rules you abide by. You eat rats, and you live, and you be kids. Because feeding on human blood will turn this side of you like that you've never felt before. And sure enough, Billy is like, oh, I feel it. I feel different. So he tells the rest of the kids. And the rest of the kids are split up. They're like, well, maybe we shouldn't drink it. And he's like, look, I left enough for some of you. Come with me. So some of them decide to go with him. Others are like, no, the elder said he'll be back. And Billy's like, hey, man, what are you talking about? The elder's been gone for a long time. And we meet the elder gentleman that stumbled upon there that got eaten, or I guess his blood sucked on by Billy. We meet his daughter who's looking for him. And like I mentioned, each issue has a flashback. This is in 2029, the second pandemic, where Billy loses his mother. And the elder shows up now with these kids. So it doesn't do it in chronological order, the flashbacks. And then this makes him an offer to come with him, so he doesn't have to be alone anymore. So it's like he's taking care of orphans by turning them into little vampires. So what this becomes is Lord of the Flies, which is the way that I think the back of the book described it as. When some of the kids decide, yes, I will drink the blood, and some are like, no, this is wrong, we should wait for the elder. So this is where Rami and the young girl, whose father just got killed, become friends. Like, he tells her not to be afraid, and they're gonna team up together. But are they gonna turn on his brothers and sisters? Is she gonna help him, or is she going to take Rami back to her village where she says there's more humans? So that's the premise of this story. That is what this book is about. This book is about these kids. They're how they turn into vampires to begin with, and what it takes to survive. And who's lying and who isn't. Like, what is the elder? Is he crazy? Is he really coming back? And I will say not all of them make it, but man, it goes in ways I didn't expect it to go. I thoroughly enjoyed this. And if you like Jeff Lemire and you liked Descender Ascender, it has a little bit of that. It definitely has like a fantasy feel to it, but it has a little horror element like the Gideon Falls book. So Andre Sorrentino's art in that, I think, would have worked different in here. But I really like what Dustin Nguyen did with the stories. Now, all the way in the back are the cover sketches right here, little monsters, and then Kaylee Nguyen doing the sketches that you've seen in the background. The Spawn sketch right there, and the Vampire Studies, all the different kids, and the variant cover gallery, and who the artist is. Done in full splash pages. And your end sheet. Now let's look at the binding. 344 pages. Retails for $39.99. Sewn binding. And I love that cover. It's my one of my favorite covers in the book. Might be my favorite one. And printed in this thick, glossy paper stock. But that's it. That, as they say, is that. If you're interested in purchasing this deluxe edition, don't forget to check out our sponsor, cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content, the page count, and build of this deluxe edition. Let me know in the comments down below if you're a fan of the Lemire and Dustin Nguyen team. If you prefer the Lemire and the Sorrentino team for creepy, eerie stories. But I thought this worked. If you have read this, what did you think of it? And any other questions, leave them down below. Comments down below. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. Everyone stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.